All right. All right. Testing. Good evening. Testing. Good evening. Welcome out. Hopefully you're hearing me. I see Lee typing. Let me know, Lee. The October. I passed the test. Woo! Yes. Indeed. I'm ready to work. I don't know where everyone else is. We got Cap, we've got Lee, we've got Scott. Again, the most important of those necessary are here. Let's get some slides. We'll talk about it. We'll chat. Middle of October. Can you believe it? Middle of October. Where is the time going? Where is it going? There's Miguel. We were waiting for you. Now that you're here, we can get things going. There's my screen. I feel like it's going to be trade management today. Maybe starting to build the next set of setups. I have to imagine you closed some things, took some profits. I mean, a few of these things, I know we were shutting down the last of it, and now you're like looking like, hey, okay. Took some profits, moving back to cash, in cash, waiting for the next round of trades. Oh, there's a big group of people. It's good to see everybody. Yeah. Anybody, Lee, how did everything go? Were you without power for a while? Is everything back? Everything good? Any damage? Not too bad. How is everything? Anyone else who was impacted that I forgot might have been impacted? Tell me as well. Hello, Wilbur. Good to see you, sir. We've got another minute. Everything went well. Good. We were sending good vibrations your way. Positive vibrations. David, good to see you. Well, we waited a couple minutes and we got a great surge. I think that's it. Everyone else is going to trickle in. Let's just get started. Okay, the recording has started, so officially, good evening. Welcome out to Market Watch Group Working Sessions, Trading Foundations. This is the anything goes for questions. We will not dive into any complex topics. If there's any like advanced options trades, we'll kick them to the second half. This is just the basics. This is where any question you have that you've been sitting on is perfect time to ask it. If nobody asks any questions, we'll just move forward. But remember, that's what we want. There's too many times where, you do something because it's just what you've always been told to do. It's like, you want to ask why? Why do we do this? Is it something I have to do, or do I have some liberty, some license, some freedom? What are the rules that can never be broken? What are the rules that we have a little bit more ability to bend on? Things like that. What happened today, in my opinion? Well, if you want my professional opinion, I believe today the sellers outweighed the buyers. And there was more supply pressure than there was demand pressure. Therefore, prices went down. You're welcome. Yes. I have great market analysis. I'm willing to share it with people all the time. Let's dive into it. We'll talk about it. Definitely things. Hey, Dan, good to see you. Definitely things around chips that were a bit disheartening. And then the market was a little bit overextended anyways, right? There you go. Clint said maybe some profits from yesterday. We were a little overextended. We had already been shutting a number of things down, right? PLTR, shut it down. TSM, shut it down. Other things. I'm trying to think of anything that we had been chatting about. Disclaimers. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. No advice, no recommendation. This is educational, illustrative purposes only. To the platform. Pause. Let's just start here. SPY. It was an engulfing. We started fine. And then it was just like, let's go look at the intraday. We're like, oh, and you can see, look at that opening range and what happened. Bam. Just all day. All day. Right at the end, a little buying. Where are we now? About where we were. Let's just take a look at the futures and then we can trace what happened after. So we got down here, a little bit of recovery, and then it's up a little bit. Basically flat. Okay, so let's talk about what else we think happened. So, where were we anyways? We were already overbought. And we had already started pinching prior to this. It didn't turn, but it pinched, right? We already had 5 days in a row. Or we had 7 out of 8 if you start back here. So I have to imagine that you've already locked in gains, maybe completely got out of some. Maybe you shut some down today, tightened up stops, things like that. But, this isn't shocking to us. It's not like, it made a good move. What else do we have to recognize? That's an above average volume day. 10% right there. 10%. That's going to give a little bit of an advantage to the sellers. But remember, if it's 3-2 for sellers, that's a 0. Our score would drop as such. Here's our score. We're still holding on to a 0.25, which I actually said for being in the 5s is a bit surprising. That I wouldn't be surprised at all if the volume dropped to 0 once the trend is well established, which it is. We're above a 3 for our total trend score. We don't need volume. I don't need it to break out. It's already moving. Things in motion tend to stay in motion. These are laws of physics. It supersedes. It's a higher power, a higher authority. But our score would drop to a 0. Okay. Right? We know there's still some funk. There's some potential funkadelicness in October. A little nod to George Clinton, the P-Funk All-Stars. There still could be a little jiggling. So we don't want to just be like, oh, everything's great. We're just bullish. Let's just throw bullish trades on. We want to be like, okay, well, we might see a little hiccup here. Things have been pretty good. Able to take some profits, stop out at break even. Beautiful. Now what though? Here's the deal. If this is a higher high, if this pulls back and then let's say it drops just for a few days, gets down to this green line approximately and starts to bounce, that's our trend. I would say, yeah, that's a good trend. 175, maybe a 2. We're right where we would want to be. This pulling back for 2 or 3 days and making a higher low, I think that looks bullish. I have no problem with that. That's going to set up more trades if that happens. It definitely looks like we're going to see it, right? We have an engulfing. We have a little bit above average volume. We had the same thing right here. And then it had a pause, and that was it. Boom. Ready to go. Right? Ready to go. No, I don't. I think this looks fine. This looks fine. I'd definitely be ready to trade more. However, what else was something we were watching? Ooh, here's what's so interesting. We dropped 1%. And yet the market, the VIX, it's hardly even pinched. This is still coming down. Now, if tomorrow it goes up and it takes out, let's just say 21, then we have a higher low. This is just the low. We don't know if this is the low point yet. We don't know. It could just all of a sudden keep dropping. We don't know. So there was no reason to hedge. There was no trigger. There was no trigger for a hedge. Does that mean, there's no way that you should have hedged? No, of course not. If you felt like you wanted to get some puts on to protect yourself, if you were carrying some bullish trades, you would not have regretted it. I mean, the market closed at the low. So as long as you got those puts on somewhat earlier in the day, you'd be fine with that. But for me, I think, hey, everything still looks fine. There's people who will be like, see, I told you. The VIX is definitely concerning. We all acknowledge the concern. Panicking? No. Let's go back to the SPY. Okay. All right. Am I speculative to the downside? It's a higher high. This looks bullish. The last time we got to a higher high and had a pullback like this, it only lasted 2 days and took off again. So if people are like, I'm going to trade it down now because my stochastics is overbought and it's crossing, and that didn't get you very far last time. You had to be really, really perfect, and even then you probably still lost money. Right? That's not what we're looking for. That's not high probability, high reward to risk trading. That's just like ego trading. I'm going to call the tops and call the bottoms. I'm going to trade it all the ways around. That's unnecessary. Right? That's unnecessary. Let's just relax, wait for the next opportunity to get in a bunch of trades with the trend. Much easier. Much, much easier. You can see the same kind of thing back here where it's like, here you had a big engulfing with volume. Then it paused, 1-2 days down, bam, that was it. Couple of pauses, 1-2, bam. That wouldn't get us in trades this week except for anticipatory trades, but we were bullish back then. We had a bullish score, May 30th. Let's go see what our score was on May 30th. Oh, the advantages of being able to. May 30th, what was our score? We were a 5 and a 5.5. Same score we are now. Right? Same score we are now back here, and what happened? It was up at a higher high, engulfed, came down a little bit, started to turn. I usually trade, Dan said, I usually trade on technical data using the charts. Yes. But I do see a lot of buy and sell recommendations from fundamentalists. I'll tell you what, the fundamentalists out here in Utah are crazy people. When it comes to stocks, yeah, I don't know. Do you think there's any substance in the buy-sell recommendations? I really, not for us as momentum traders, Dan, because what they're looking at isn't what's impacting it in the 5 to 9 day momentum process. Like overall, yes, it can be influential. I mean, if it's a surprise change in a recommendation where all of a sudden a major financial institution's like, oh, we're issuing a sell recommendation on this out of the blue, and everyone's like, holy shit, where'd that come from? That could be, but for the most part, it's already baked in. It's gotten a lot better. The legality, when I first started, late 90s, that was like when investment banks were also giving the recommendations. They're like, oh, this stock is amazing. and don't worry that we also happen to, have enormous positions in it. It's like, conflict of interest much? So there's less of that now. Still exists for sure. I really don't. I've never seen enough correlation on the short term that it influences like any trade decision. I think that if you're like, hey, there's some great recommendations from the analysts, that gives me extra credence to my bullish argument on this thing. Love it. Why not? Probability stacking. That's maybe where I would put it. Okay, let's keep talking about it. What are the trades we're thinking about? Apple looks fine. Still going up, still making money. Right? Still maintaining the desired trajectory, barely, but who's to quibble? At one point today, we're like, "Ooh, it looks fantastic," and then it's like, well, still going up overall, still advanced. Aflac is just kind of pausing. Looked good at one point, pulled back. We'll see. We got to give it its propers to do what it can try to do. Amazon, you can see that is a little concerning. You had a dark cloud cover followed now by this. It's hard not to see that as a tombstone doji. If that was down here at the bottom or down here, you would say dragonfly. You think it's going to... But sitting at the resistance level, that's more of a tombstone where you think this thing's so... it's a little tenuous, Amazon. AXP still looks fine. Maybe still riding a piece of that. There's a reason why. Bank of America was looking phenomenal, then gave it all back. BK was looking good, gave it back. That's one that if you had a piece of, I would be getting pretty close to the end of that. BLDR, I don't think anyone still has this. If you did, if time is on your side, you would actually be okay. I mean, it's never really gone wrong or right, just grinding along. Carrier's a little more bullish than that. Caterpillar. If Caterpillar can hold on, that's a leader. One of the things we talked about doing today was actually searching in industrials. But there's a lot of strength here in industrials right now with Caterpillar. And I think rather than just simply ignore that, we could do something with it. Okay. Caterpillar, I think, looks maybe viable soon. CMG. Let's just kind of keep going through the list. I mean, it's been good since back here about a week, just grinding along. Costco, I think, is potential. Popped up, little hiccup, trading out of the hiccup. The Dow pulling back out of a new high. Fastenal grinding sideways after a big smashing earnings announcement. GBTC. Yeah, I don't know where Bitcoin's getting a little pop from. Any hodlers, any cryptocurrency traders want to give their insight? I only follow this market peripherally. I haven't traded in it for a little while. GE Aerospace engulfing, pulling back. Earnings will probably prevent this from having another trade opportunity. Same thing with GE Vernova. Vernova. That sounds fancy. Italian. Gold looks good. I was telling you, I was thinking about buying, and luckily silver's not as inflated, I don't think. I was looking at it here coming out of this, and I'm like, let's just buy some. Didn't do it. Left 10% on the table. Come on, Scott. I'm just not used to buying physical things, you know? That's gonna be my thing with. Oh, what just happened? You guys still hear me? When I have grandkids, and it's a little early. My kids are still young, 5-6 years. It's my plan. When a grandkid is born, I'm gonna buy like 18 2-ounce silver bars and 1 2-ounce gold bar. I'm gonna give them one every birthday, and then maybe 17, and then on their 18th birthday, the gold bar. They'll be like, oh, it's a plan. I gave my kids way too much stuff that they just like broke or threw away. I'm thinking if I would have done that, they'd have like 2 or 3 pounds of precious metal, that a basis of probably like $7 an ounce. You know? Okay, where were we? I was looking at gold. Gold is strong though, right? I'll tell you what I've seen. The little 1-ounce gold bars. Maybe I have to do 1 ounce because I can get it from Costco. The 1-ounce gold bars from Costco are flying off the shelves. They can't keep those in stock. Did some for your nieces years ago. Yeah, right? I definitely want to do some stock too. Like, you know, when they're like 5 and you start to understand their personalities, find a good stock like in that arena that you can kind of get them interested in, right? I mean, maybe even just Disney at the time where you're like, oh, you own some of Disney. They're like, what? You're like, hell yeah. Oh, I couldn't get my son's interested now. He's about to graduate and come home. And I'm like, while you're looking for a job, man, you can, learn how to trade. Best skill ever. So yes, my daughter, she couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. She's like, man, I'm not interested. Anyway, what do you do? I'll get her kids. That's what I'm going to do. I will convince them, bribe them. They will be the next generation of traders. Google we liked. It's moved. It's not moved spectacularly. Anticipatory here, confirmed here. Still going. Home Depot. You guys know I have such a hard time with these little one-day consolidations. It did a 1 day here, popped a little, 1 day here, popping a little. I need something more real, so I guess I'm just going to keep spectating. Anyone trade Home Depot? I didn't catch it at all. There's small caps. Small caps are holding up better today than large caps. Large caps pulled back almost 1%. Small caps held. They held the line. Well done. KKR, yesterday, you can see it's just been losing steam relative to the initial thought. If you bought an option, you probably broke even. Maybe made a little bit. If you did some kind of a time decay strategy, I can't remember. I'll have to go look. Maybe it made a little bit. Didn't go wrong. Didn't go right. No harm, no foul. MasterCard, it's at a new high. I'd still think about it. Oh, McDonald's, right there was the day, right? I found myself less inclined because of the shift away from consumer staples, which this sits. So I did not pull the trigger on this one. Anybody, let me know if you took Mickey Donald's. I looked up to see, will the McRib be back in late November? The answer, the rumor is yes. The rumor is yes. Oh, I'll be excited for that. All right. MMM. I mean, as I said, I'm less inclined towards consumer staples. It was valid here, confirmed. I just don't think it looks great. Now, let me ask you this. Look at Morgan Stanley. My goodness. If anyone has one that you're in and you're like, hey, I need help managing this. Should I? Shouldn't I? Took a small profit in Mickey Donald's. Nice. Love it. Good time. Microsoft. It's not wrong. It's moved higher. Even today, it was just kind of flat from yesterday. Doesn't look great. Needs to get a little further. NDAQ. We actually talked about that, saying maybe out of a hiccup, and there it was, coming out of the hiccup yesterday. Today, moved a little bit. I would imagine we have a nice Heiken-Ashi candle. Yes. Yeah, I think this has some potential. We'll see. Netflix. I think Netflix looks tradable if it weren't for the fact that it's reporting earnings in 2 days. Aftermarket, though. So today's Tuesday. So Thursday aftermarket, they report. That's a lot of risk right there. Right? That's a lot of risk. NRG. Haha. Did anybody take a utility, and if so, which one? Let's just walk through the list. NRG, PEG, SO, VST, and XLU. Did you? If so, which? You guys are so quiet today. XLU with Chuck. Love it. Love it. Almost dupe. XLU is mine. 74 calls for October. I like it. I like it. What else? Lost my watch list. Peg, PGR. Okay, PGR? No. I'm getting rid of PGR. I really don't like it. PLTR. Oh, you know what's coming. We didn't have to wait, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just about the full cup and handle now. I can't wait for another trade. Things have been going well with PLT. Oh, that's Q's. There, I was like, that looks a little better. Sorry. I'm like, wait a second. We had a much better trade. That's what we had. Pulling back. Okay, I would say between 39 and 41 and a half. If it finds a nice support level in there. Oh, there's another trade for us. Brewing. The Q's not as strong. Oh, I love PLTR. Setting up beautifully. Southern certainly could have been a viable option. If you remember, we actually said Southern and XLU really have a less volatile nature. Where it's like, oh yeah, those other ones look like high flyers, but high flying up, high flies back down. So that's not necessarily just an instant appeal. Like a high flyer means I have to set a wider stop, so my reward to risk may not be any better, which is why I was like, yeah, XLU is fine. I don't need to do something crazy. SPY. There's the engulfing pattern we saw. Tesla. Oof, I don't know. Tesla is 3 days in a row. Can't seem to get up off of this. Could be heading lower. TSM. Yeah. I was getting close anyways. Tightening stops anyways. Couple of techniques to talk about. Here is a Heikin-Ashi candle, which would have a stop tightened up to where? 187.25, let's say. A little bit below there. And it would have hit it. However, if you know you're getting to the tail end of a trade, you're going to start thinking about moving down to a 4-hour chart. And you'll notice on a 4-hour chart, I would move my stop from yesterday here. On the daily chart, it was at 187.25. 187.25. From the 4-hour chart, that stop would be at 190. Let's just say 25. So $3 higher. $3 higher, where it would be like, okay, like we got a little windfall. Anytime you're trying to protect more profit, you can switch from a daily to a 4-hour. Is that a huge, like, oh my God, why would you do that? That's so aggressive. It's a 4-hour chart. It's not that much different. Technically, a daily chart covers 6.5 hours. Technically. Okay. So, yeah, TSM. I would imagine if you were in NVIDIA, if you were in TSM, any of those, you're probably out. And now what? Same thing, cup. The full cup. We made it all the way back to the high. Now we're thinking a handle anywhere between, let's call it 176 and 182. It starts to turn. We look for it to break. Cup and handle. Love it. Love it. Give me your thoughts. UUP. So not a lot is setting up as tradable, you'll notice, right? Like, this thing is, if it's just getting going, we're not thinking, hey, what am I going to slap on tomorrow? We're thinking, hey, it had volume today. Is it going to have more tomorrow? Is it going to have an increase in volume? Then we're going to be like, wait a second. That's not good. Is it a decrease in volume but a big sell-off day? I'm okay with that. Decrease in volume, small day, or a doji day? Then I'm already thinking, oh, yeah, the sellers aren't doing much. Back to what Clint said earlier, is it just some profit taking? Yeah, that's what I would be leaning towards in that situation, right? In that situation. Okay. The VIX, interesting. Still holding some fear, right? The institutions are still holding on. We have to be respectful of that, I think. It is odd. It's inflated. It's not like this crazy pearl clutching of August, but it's something. Here's VST. Another one of those where it popped. So you can see the high flyers, they popped early and then they're stalling, whereas XLU and Southern SO, those are much more stable in the way that they're moving, which is what I thought made them a little bit more appealing. Walmart. It was kind of lulling you to sleep in here, but it turned and it's starting to move. This thing can go. You can see how it can move, right? It definitely has prospects. That I would say are worth considering. Yeah, for sure. XLB, materials are pausing. XLC looks still strong. Okay. So let's stop here. Israel, the Middle East, Hezbollah, Iran, oil. Is it done? Was it overblown? Let's talk about that. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I never was all that concerned. I thought, maybe. They have not. Do I think there's going to be peace? No. I think it's the market has decided no matter what Israel does, they're thinking this is just going to be more sable rattling than consequential. And so the market's like, yeah, okay. We're okay with it. We're fine with it. David says it's not done yet, but somewhat overblown. Lee says overblown. Yeah, this is a good one. We found the right point of discussion. The energy definitely, you can see it gap down. The buyers made a little run at it, and then the sellers just pushed it even further. Gap down, held the low, volume. I'm thinking that also points to some extent to overblown. Give me your thoughts. All right, let's get through the rest of this. We'll continue this. That seems like a good discussion. Gets everyone thinking. Financials look fantastic, but are they overblown? Are they overbought? Yes. Steven says we've not seen the worst reaction. There may be a stupid reaction, maybe after the election. Yeah, okay. That's still weeks away, though, right? 3 weeks. XLI. So financials and industrials both look great. That's where we're going to go search in part 2 today. We're going to go look through and find some new, look at these guys. Higher highs, new highs, look good. Technology also got a new high. We're pretty well covered. We've got Apple, Microsoft, we've got some chips, we've got PLTR. I mean, we've got like a good sway in there. Staples, even though it made a little bit of a recovery, that's a lower high. Utilities, we've got a piece of right now with XLU. Healthcare doesn't look great, and Staples looks iffy. So what's the thought? The thought is right now the big 3 for me are financials, industrials, and tech. I want to get a little bit better representation of financials and industrials. We have some good stuff, but there's better. We can find better. That's the belief. Yeah, and that's where I think we're going to see setups coming, right? Already seeing it. So that's what we'll be looking for is some new setup opportunities. I'm going to get my note card ready because that's where I put new opportunities. The next round of alerts coming our way. Questions, comments. Before we wrap up this first part, we'll take 5 or 6 minutes. Earnings favorable, scorecard 83%, which I believe that's pretty standard, right? I believe that's pretty standard. Part of what we'll be looking for out of earnings season is how are they coming in relative to, what we expect from previous quarters, especially what we expect from not necessarily last quarter, but last Q3 results from a year ago. Did I see your email from yesterday? Oh, I actually did not have a chance to look. I've been a little bit under the weather. But I will, because part of what I'm doing this week is trying to get some time exploring a new ecosystem. So as I get that in place, I'll be looking to have all our resources there. Okay, well then let's take a quick break. We'll pause. I'm going to put a note here for anyone who happens to show up in a little bit. You can stretch your legs, use the bathroom, get a drink. We will resume at 8:50 p.m. EST. Boom. Okay. I'm going to just put my mic on pause. I will see you guys in about 6 minutes, and we will get going. Thanks, everyone. See you in a sec. Hello, Loki. Hello, buddy. All right. Part two. We lost a couple of people. I know it gets late for Bob. He's like, it's too late for me. Let me turn my slides back on. And let's just get an intro. Welcome back, everyone, to the working sessions. This is the intermediate advanced. There's not much going on. It's mostly exits. It's mostly closing trades. Well, closing trades in a bull market means what's next. What are the three sectors right now that we've keyed in on where we think money flow is going and we are more likely to find opportunities? Those are 1, financials, 2, industrials, 3, technology. Let's remind you real quickly that we are not brokers. We are not advisors. This is for illustrative and educational purposes only. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Let's go to the platform. Let's go to the platform. Yeah. Searching. Maybe we'll do all three. I think we need to search. So, as always, what am I going to do? I'm going to replicate the procedure that we would take if we were just starting together. So we're going to go into our resources. We're going to scroll to the not market posture, bullish search parameters. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to say, yes, take me there. Take me to the search, man. Okay, let's move this back. First and foremost, we say we're bullish. How many stocks would I expect to find if I'm bullish? At least 350. We're at 414. So that definitely confirms for us. I don't know how this showed up. That does not look to be above. Does this have everything set? Price above SMA 200? Price above SMA 50. Well, that just doesn't seem to qualify. Other way, it doesn't matter. Let's go back. We're going to start in the financial sector. Now, in the financial sector, you can see that there are 148. You're like, how is there possibly 148? Because this is not representative of just financial stocks. That's what's important to recognize. Let me make sure I can see everybody. If you look at the industry level breakdown, we would actually want stocks only if we wanted to see the whole sector. And there's not 149, there's only 40, there's only 53, there's only about a third. The rest of those are ETFs. And ETFs get categorized as financial stocks because they are composites. Just a little point of fact. Now, 53 is still it's too much to work with. So what do we need to do? We need to break this down one group at a time. There are 10 asset managers. We have KKR. I thought that was a regional bank for some reason. I don't know why. I like BX. That's Blackstone. I also like APO. So, yeah, I'm going to add both of those. Mutuals. Those are two new ones that I'm going to put on my list. APO, add it. And BX, add it. Now remember, I might add 8 to 10 of these knowing that only 4 or 5 are going to pass the test. This is just, we want to try it on, see how it feels, see how it looks, wear it around a little bit. Okay? So don't be afraid to add if you're like, well then, Scott, why aren't you putting STT? Great, put it on there, man. If you like it, put it on. Put it on. But don't tell me what to do. I'll put it on if I want to. Let's go to banks, diversified. We have BK. That's a great one. We have the best one, I think. And it produced a trade recently. I would have took that trade if I would have thought KKR and BK were in slightly different areas. That's on me. I don't see anything else that needs to be on the list. Yeah, no. We're not here to just willy-nilly throw things on, right? We need to make sure that we like what we see. Let's go to regional banks. A lot of regional banks. IBN looks really strong. I'm going to put that on. IBN. Fifth Third has some prospects. Hey, Sandy. Good to see you. I hope it's going well. Let's go to page 2. New holdings in the Cayman Islands. Oh, no. I think we added one. That's good. Let's go look at capital markets. Futu Holdings out of Hong Kong. That is a shark frenzy. Be careful. Morgan Stanley, we have it already. Goldman Sachs. I thought we had Goldman. I'm going to put it back. I like Goldman. Robinhood? Nah. I don't know. I guess they're doing okay. Let's put Robinhood on the list too. Robinhood. Okay. Next. A closed-end fund. Nothing there. Equity, no, nothing there. Foreign, nothing there. Credit services. We already have MasterCard and AXP. Look at Upstart. We had watched this for a while. You can see it was just bottom feeding. Now it's moving again. SoFi. PayPal. I'm going to put SoFi and PayPal on mine. Tell me if you like something other or if you like the same. PYPL. Oh, yeah, no, we don't want ETFs. Both of them, I like them too. Financial conglomerates, nothing there. Exchanges, ICE and NDAQ. We have the NDAQ already. ICE looks pretty good, but I like NDAQ and it's looking fine. So I think we're good there. Insurance brokers. No. Insurance diversified. None of those look great. Life insurance. We have Aflac. That looks good. MFC looks good. MetLife looks good. I think we're good with the one we have. We don't need a lot of that. Property and casualty, we have PGR on the list already. Reinsurance. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Mortgage, nothing there. Shell companies. Speaking of shell companies, did anybody ever participate in this? Yeah, it broke. Ran up. Now it's kind of maybe showing some exhaustion. I believe it's hard to borrow. Yeah, it's hard to short this thing. Look at the volatility on these options. 300%. You could probably go sell like a 55-60 bear call spread. I'm curious. Vertical. What was the trade on that? Out of curiosity. 55. Yeah, you can sell a 55 by 60 credit spread for 42 cents. 42 cents. It's 100% out of the money. That's up here. For November. What is the probability of that? Interesting. Okay. One down. What's next? Let's go take a look at industrials. 31 total. Aerospace and defense. We have GE. That's a nice looking stock. It's a little overextended. RTX. Yeah, let's throw RTX on the list. That looks like a reasonable stock. RTX. The airlines. United. Delta. Alaska. Southwest. I mean, United is going pretty well, but none of those look like they're like tradable trajectories to me. Airports and air services. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what is going on here, but building products. We have Carrier. Ooh, look at JCI. Johnson Controls. Okay. We'll put Johnson on the list. We had RKT, Miguel. Rocket Mortgage. We had RKT. And we bounced it. I don't remember exactly why. I think because it bounced down. You can see now it's like right on the underside of this old. So I don't know. I'm iffy on it. If it breaks back above this 1850 level, I'm willing to put it back on. I'm a forgive and forget kind of guy, you know? But not yet. Okay. Where were we? Building products, business equipment, no. Conglomerates. We have 3M already. Consulting services. Electrical equipment, I don't see anything outstanding there. Engineering and construction, no. Farm, heavy machinery, Caterpillar and Picard. No, but I do like Caterpillar. Industrial distribution. Fastenal's already on the list. Infrastructure, nothing there. Freight. ZTO. Yeah, that looks nice. Again, some of the stuff as we start to watch it will be like, you know what? I really don't like how that looks. Great. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Marine shipping. Zimmerman Holdings. Zim Integrated. No, nothing there. Metal fabrication. No. Pollution treatment. No. Railroads. UMP trying to come back. CSX kind of trying to grind out a little bit of a trend. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'll make sure to update the list too, so that you have everything if you didn't want to write it all down. Where are we? Security? Nothing there. Oh, Geo? No. Business service. CPRT. Yeah. Copart. I'll put that on the list. Maybe a trade pops up for us there. CPRT. Employment, nothing. Tools and accessories, nothing. Trucking, no. And waste management, ironically, is usually WMI if it shows up, which is Waste Management Inc., but not this time. Oh, what do we think about technology? Oh, I think they're limiting me. Is that all I get today? You bastards. I'm not going to pay. Let's go to resources. Let's pull up a copy a link, and let's go to nope, that's not what I wanted. Boom. Go. Hold on. And go. Yeah, let's do it. You can't stop us. We're not paying for a subscription. Technology. Lot of technology. I'm going to be pretty discriminate. Let's just kind of pop around here, see what we like, what we don't like. Make sure I can see where you guys are. Cisco. Yeah. Come on, yeah. No. No, I did not put it on. Let's go computer hardware. Yeah, I think at this point, let's just run through this and then let's talk about the trading plan. None of these are standing out to me necessarily. If I could get my drop down to work. We already have Apple. Okay. GLW is Corning, I believe. I'm going to add GLW to my list. I like that enough. Nope. There we go. IBM looks strong. FIS, Fidelity National Information, looks strong. Fiserv. I'm going to put IBM in FIS. And let's put IBM in there. Oof, both of those look good. That's a couple of nice additions. Nope, that's not what I wanted. But that does look good. Information technology. Let's go scientific. Coherent. COHR. Sure. Yeah, let's expand the list. Semiconductor equipment. Nothing there. Semiconductors. We have NVIDIA. We have TSM. I think those are the best ones. CRDO, Credo, out of the Caymans. Always a little suspect of that, you know? Software. DocuSign looks pretty good. Datadog. Ooh, there's some good stuff in here. I actually want to spend a little more time in here. And pick a couple. Let's move past this for a second to infrastructure. PLTR strong. That's our favorite. Everything else is a distraction from them. Let's just look at solar and then we'll go back to software application. Okay, software application. So probably want to pick a couple of these. Yeah. Let's take a look. Shopify is moving. TTD, I like that. We'll put Trade Desk. We'll put TTD. MicroStrategy. No. App11. I don't know. Whatever that is. We'll put APP. App11. DocuSign looks fairly strong, but I don't want everything. That's good. That's good. We got a couple more out of that. Okay. What do you guys think? Strengthen the watch list. I feel like we got some good looking things. Watch list is strong now. I agree. Looking good. Anytime we have the market going into a consolidative period, we should be thinking, hey, what can I pick up that is tradable that wasn't tradable before? Quite a few good ones to watch. Okay. Well, let's take a quick peek at the trading plan. Okay. This is on the honor system. How much work have you put in this week on market forecasting? More importantly, is your current market forecast section of your trading plan at least a 7? 7 out of 10. Are you scoring it at least a 7? Yes, Miguel says. Okay. It's got to be at least a 7, or else you got to go put some time into it. If it's at least a 7, then I want it to be at least an 8. Yeah. This is what we're looking for. Yeah? This is what we're looking for. Let's get this section in place. Next week, we're moving on to trading rules. We need it. Second pass, David. Love it. Love it. Any questions for anyone? Remember, they have the videos. Real quick other thing here, too. My thoughts were to give you guys a little bit of a break from me, and to start having Glenn take part 1 of both Tuesday and Thursday, and I'll take part 2. What are your thoughts on that? To have Glenn get another day in the evening. Let me know. Or we could even look at potentially bringing Gary back. I just want some feedback from you guys. Let me know your thoughts. The other thing I'm hoping down to add. All right, it's good feedback. Thank you. I'm hoping that by this weekend or over this weekend, I'll have at least the shell of the new environment. I agree, Clint. Yeah, I definitely agree. Ready for a test. So I will make that offer. And then for those of you who say, yeah, I'll get you login credentials, and we'll be able to start looking at that to see if that's going to be viable to move over and have an easier process to get new people onboarded. Okay. Yes, Gary P. has come before. He's phenomenal. So, anyways. Yes. All right. So maybe we'll look at those guys. And see what's going on. Get a little change up in here now and then. All right. Well, listen, it's good to see everybody. We'll call it. We'll pick up tomorrow morning, 15 minutes before the market opens. We'll see where things are at. Does the sell-off continue? Does it stabilize? If it stabilizes, do we get a chance to put some new things on? Ready to go. Go out and see the comment, Clint says. I didn't even know there was one, but I'll ask ChatGPT if it can help me see it. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. We'll see you soon. Happy trading.